Welcome to Learn French with Gabriella. Today we are going to learn in this lesson how to pronounce the vowels in French. Just letting you know that this is a very difficult class and a very difficult lesson because we do have a lot of categories of vowels. So I'm gonna jump right in, but I also want to reassure you, if you follow my guidelines, you will be able to pronounce everything correctly by the end of the lessons on the vowels. There will be 3 to 4 lessons on the vowels, and that is due to the different categories of vowels that we have in French. The first category is the classic one for the A, E, I, O, U, Y. Okay, so we're gonna jump in straight into the next slide, and we're gonna start with just here a quick word to say that how do we say a vowel in French? Well, a vowel in French is voyelle. Okay, voyelle. So, as you can see, O plus Y, voix, wa. It becomes wa, the sound wa, voyelle. You can see the difference in English, vowels, okay, vowels. So, for the French, it's pronounced voyelle, not voyelle, voix. This is very important, okay? And this is going to be explained in the last category. Why am I pronouncing voyelle and not voyelle? Okay, I will explain to you later on. I just don't want to add too much right in the from the beginning to confuse you. So we're gonna just do now the classics: A, E, I, O, U, Y, and we're gonna jump right into the next slide. Okay, so very easy. The first category will give you actually kind of an idea what is the French language and why is it so special and why the pronunciation is so special. It all comes from how you pronounce the vowels. Okay, so pretend that you are in an art class or some type of really like very fine art, and you are going to delicately start to pronounce those letters that I'm going to show you right now that we call vowels. So, voyelle is a vowel in French. The first category are the classics, like we said, and we're gonna start with the first one. A. A. Capital letter or minor, okay? Um, A. Small caps. A. Capital letter. A. Small caps, okay? E. E. I. I. O. 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 U. U. Y, this is how we pronounce, this is the name of the letter Y. It's called Y, okay? And it's usually pronounced E, just like the third vowel in here, E, okay? E, E. So again, one more time, say with me. A, E, E, I, O, O, U, U, I. A, E, I, O, U, I. In English, it will be A, E, I, O, U, Y, right? And remember, I told you, be very careful with the second and the third. The in French, that's how it's pronounced, but in English, it's an E. And vice, and then the I, in English, I, this one, in French, it's not pronounced I, it's E. So there is no I. There's no I. There's a and there's a E. Okay? All right, all together with me. A, E, I, O, U, I. A, I, O, U, I. If you learn this one, you have already learned a lot, trust me. Okay. A, I, O, U, I. Okay, so something that you will have to learn as you go is that there are a lot of exceptions in the French language, and it's okay. Just accept it and move on. Don't ask yourself too much questions. It's part of the thing. It's part of the charm of the language. So that's all right. You learn as you go. Don't worry. So voyelle is a vowel. Okay. Remember, voyelle. Ya, ya, ya. You see? Voyelle. Okay. So the E here is not pronounced, the Y, the letter Y is not pronounced E here. It's pronounced Y. That is because the letter Y is a vowel and a semi-vowel. Okay, so it can be pronounced E or Y, like Eve or Yup. Okay, Y or E. E or Y. So for example here, you have voyelle, voyelle, Y. Okay, or for example, the word yop. I'm not going to pronounce Eop. I'm going to pronounce Yop. So those are words that you learn as you go. Okay, you kind of memorize them. For example, the noun, the name, okay, there's a name in French. It's Yves. Yves is a name, just like Sandra, Carl, Jack, John. There's Yves. Okay, and it's a masculine name for most of people, so it's Eve. There's a Y in there, E. But then there's also Yoplait, a brand of yogurt in France, and it's written Yoplait, Yo. It starts with the Y, Y, E, with a Y. Okay? So just learn as you go that the letter Y, it can be vowel and semi-vowel, which means that it can be totally pronounced as an E or as a Y. Okay, and that's as we learn as we go, so there is no major rule for this. Okay, so now we're gonna wrap up our lesson on the first category of voyelle, of vowel. Okay, and we're gonna pronounce those each vowel individually, and I'm gonna integrate them in a word. Okay. So let's start with the first one. A. Ball means a ball, but not a ball like the toy. It's a traditional festivity. It's like an event where you go to a ball, okay? And you dance with somebody. You go to a ball. That used to be back in the days where a lot of princesses and princes all over Europe, or a certain category of people would attend balls so they could meet people there. Usually they will meet their spouse, their future spouse. Just refer as a Cinderella, when she went to the ball to meet her prince. So in French is bal, bal, ah, bal. Now the second vowel, e, e, it's like je, I. It means I. Je fais, I'm doing. Je danse, I'm dancing. Okay, je. The third one, il, fil, I. It's the I. I meant to say I, actually. And the word I took for example here is fil. It's like a wire. Okay, so fil is just to give you the pronunciation, how it's pronounced. Fil. The fourth vowel is O, and I chose the word or. O, or, o. Okay, O or O, or, de l'or. And it depends on which country you go to. Like, for example, if you go to France, they'll pronounce or. If you go to, for example, Switzerland or Belgium, they probably will pronounce with a little bit more deviant accent, like or, you know. Or if you go to Canada, that will be something very different as well. But the main pronunciation is o, or, which means gold, gold. All right, so the fifth one is U, U, and here I chose the word mur. Mur means the wall, wall, mur, mur. And then lastly, the vowel Y, which can be pronounced in two different ways, E or Y. So for the vowel, we pronounce it E, and I chose the name Yves, which is just a name in France for usually masculine name, Yves. Okay, so that's it for our first letter on how to pronounce the vowel, the first category of voyelle in French. Congratulations, you just did it. Yay!